In December 2011, Lopez, like many women who are done having children, decided to make a responsible choice: permanent contraception.
So I went to Planned Parenthood, and they offered me Essure.
Essure claims to be more effective than tying your tubes, and it is surgery-free. A pair of coils are inserted into a woman's fallopian tubes, and tissue then grows around the coils and seals the tubes.
Clearly, these things did something to me, and I knew it.
Consumer advocate Erin Brockovich says the amount of emails she's received from women like Lopez complaining about Essure has raised a red flag.
So I started a website and was actually very overwhelmed how quickly it built from 50 to a couple hundred to now thousands of stories of women who are experiencing the same problems.
Now, you know Erin Brockovich from her work with environmental issues, product flaws, and of course from Julia Roberts' Oscar-winning role about her work. But recently, she's championing a new cause. Please welcome Erin to the show. Thank you. Erin, you're known as a true consumer advocate, trying to make sure that the world is a safer place. Tell us about this new cause you're championing.
Well, normally what happens with me, is I track a lot of incoming information from the consumer. And I had gotten one email from a woman about Essure and some problems that she was having. And it was actually kind of horrific, in my opinion. And then the next day I had a couple more, next day a couple more. And that's usually a red flag to me when I start getting 1 and 5 and 10 and 15 and 20. So we got on. There is an Essure Facebook. These women are terrific. They're about 2,300 strong. We created an Essure website where women could come and tell their stories. They felt like they didn't have a place to report. They didn't know what to do. And it just blossomed very, very quickly to thousands of stories with women who have had this procedure, the complications that are having. So we gave them that voice.
Are you finding that when women are having these complaints that their doctors who put the device in, are they receptive to the complaints? Are they trying to help the women themselves as opposed to dealing with the company that makes it?
A little bit of both. In some instances, the doctors aren't sure what to do because once the device is in, it's pretty difficult to get it out. So they are calling the manufacturer. They're asking representatives what they should do. There's reports when the doctors do remove them, they're breaking. And it started with, many women complaining of severe pelvic pain. And it's now gone to where this device is moving in the body. They're having body scans. They cannot find them in the body. They are perforating organs. They are jeopardizing babies. And it has become a serious problem.
Again, like Dr. Rachel said, and I think it's so important when you're talking about contraception, this, of course, being permanent contraception, this is something that a woman should be given a range of options, and they need to be given the risks and benefits and alternatives to the options that their doctor is suggesting.
Yes, and I could say from my perspective, I've sent a couple ladies to get the Essure, from the perspective, and they felt like this was a good option for them because what's happening is it's quick. They go into the office, they come out, they go back for a couple tests, the hysteroscopy, where you actually look to make sure the tubes have actually scarred down. And I haven't had this problem personally, but reading your stories or the women's stories really touched my heart and made me think, well, maybe we need to reevaluate this. But what I can say is any time, ladies or gentlemen, that you're getting an implant of any sort in your body, that there is a process that can happen where your body rejects the implant. And so these implanted devices are actually made out of nickel. And so a lot of times, if you have a nickel allergy and you don't realize it, this can cause havoc. So just do a little more research anytime you're having any type of procedure, particularly an implanted one, because situations like this can occur.
It's so true. We also wanted to hear from women that have actually had this procedure done. We invited both Tanya here and Stephanie is joining us on the phone to share their differing experiences. And Tanya, we heard from you earlier in that tape piece. You've had what you would consider an extremely adverse reaction.
Yes, I have. It's been a horrible experience. I've had severe pelvic pain, sharp stabbing pains in my side, really, really heavy bleeding and blood clots, dizziness, and I was never told this by doctors.
And you never had any of those problems
Never.
before?
I have since had a hysterectomy, and I have none of the problems anymore. They're Everything is gone.
So the device has been removed.
Yes.
So, clearly, Tanya, what you've been through, it's tough to hear. But in fairness, Stephanie, you had a very different experience. You've been happy with Essure.
Yes, I've had no issues whatsoever. Quick, easy, it's like I didn't even have it.
We always look at both sides in the situation. There are going to be people who have a good result, and I'm very thankful for them. But I think it's very important that we look at those that are having that adverse reaction. So the next woman is more educated.
Absolutely.
She's not rendered defenseless or helpless, and she can make a better choice for herself before she has the procedure done.
Educated.
Yeah.
We want to thank you for all the advocacy. We appreciate the work that you do. We did reach out to Bear, who makes the Essure coil. I'm going to read part of their statement. The rest of it will be on our website. Essure was approved by the FDA in 2002 and has a well-documented benefit-risk profile with over 400 peer-reviewed publications and abstracts supporting Essure's safety, efficacy, and cost-effectiveness. Approximately 750,000 women worldwide rely upon the Essure procedure for permanent birth control. Their statement, of course, will also be on our website. Tanya, thank you so much for joining us. Stephanie, thank you for joining us on the phone. Thank you. Coming up, a bacteria that can be found in salt water that you probably